In this session, we'll see how a network address translation is done using a Cisco Packet Tracer. Now, NAT is used whenever there is a shortage of IP address space. So the number of users have increased and the IP address is not available. So in that case, what can be done? So we can create a private network and a public network. So the public network will have less address space, whereas the private address will have more number of IP address. The private IP address is different from the public. So each organization can decide its own private address for its host that belongs to the organization, which is different from the public address. In order to communicate with the outside world, the private address cannot be used. So it has to be mapped to the public address. So there should be someone who does that conversion, private to public. So this is done by the network address translation, which is a table that is maintained in the router that belongs to the organization where the private network is created. So there's one router which is NAT enabled, and that NAT enabled router will do the conversion of private address to public address. So you can see here's a simple example. There's a two private network and each private network is having the same IP address. So you can have multiple copies of the private address, but in public address, in public network, the IP address is unique. So before the private network communicates with the public, it has to be converted to the public address. So that is done by the router, which has a NAT enabled algorithm or the technique. So only those router can convert the private to public. So there are three types of network address translation, that is static NAT, dynamic NAT, and port address translation. In static NAT, one-to-one conversion is done. That is, one private address is mapped to the one public address. So, and any host in the private network can be mapped to the one public address which is available to the organization. So at a time, only one host can be mapped to the global public address, which can communicate to the outside world. And how does the router know where the reply has to go back? It maintains a table. So based on the destination address, the reply can be mapped to the proper private host. But what happens if multiple host wants to communicate to a server? Now what happens? Multiple private address is mapped to the same global address. Then there's a confusion where the reply has to go. So that time we can have a set of global addresses or a pool of global addresses where each private is mapped to one of these global address available in the pool. So that is dynamic allocation. So whenever the global address become available, that is mapped to the private client that wants to communicate to the outside world. So in static, there's only one global address available, whereas in dynamic, you have a pool of global addresses. Now there's a port address translation table when there's more number of traffic or when the number of clients that wants to communicate to the outside world increases. Now when does this usually happens? When they communicate to the web servers where they keep asking more information. So that time, along with the source address, the port address is also taken care so that which private host is communicating with the outside world can be easily mapped to the global address. So here, along with the private ID and the port address, that is converted to the global address port address. So there are two addresses are added in order to uniquely identify which host is communicating with the outside world host. So we'll see that how each of one of these connections are done. So first we'll see the simple static NAT connection where one private host is mapped to the one global address. So before we do that, we'll understand all the terminologies that is used in the Cisco packet tracer. So there are four terms: inside local, inside global, outside global, outside local. So we can just consider that the private host that wants to communicate to the outside becomes an outside host. So the private host that wants to communicate is called as inside host. So you will have a private ID. So that is called as inside local. And that private ID is mapped to public ID. So that is called as inside global. Okay. Now this inside host wants to communicate with the outside host. So that outside host also may belong to one of the private networks. So it also has two addresses. So the outside local is the private address and the outside global is the public address of the outside node that the inside node wants to communicate. So for example, we have host here and there's an internet. This host A is communicating to host B. So this is inside host and this is host B is outside. So you can see the private address is this, that is called inside local. The public address is 55.1.1, that is public address, which is called as inside global. Now host A wants to communicate to host B. So the private address is this and the public address is this. Initially host A doesn't know the private address. So initially outside global is also same and the local is also same. Later it gets converted to the private address. So now we'll do a simple static NAT connections. So here we can see there's one PC just communicating to a server through a router and this is a NAT enabled router. Okay, so just note down the IP addresses so that we'll do the same configuration. The PC is 10.10.1 and the server address is 100.100.1. And this is a router connection. So we'll see how this is done. Now we'll make a simple connection. So the configuration is like this. We're just making a simple static NAT connection, PC to a server, which is connected through a router. You can have one more router here also. Just to avoid the confusion, just I'm keeping just a single router. So now we'll do the configuration setting. First we'll do the IP address setting, then gateway address, and then we'll configure the router. The gateway is 10.2, the PC address is 10.1. This is a server connection. The server gateway address is 100.2. And the gateway has been set. Now we have to configure the router to make it NAT enabled. So there are certain commands which can be done only through command line interface. So now all the IP address and the gateway setting we have done using user interface. Now for the NAT enabled router, we have to use a command line. So go to the command line and give the command en, which tells you to enable the configuration settings. And these are the shortcuts. En means enable. Configure means the shortcut is CONF. Configure the terminal. Now, which terminal you've opened? So, if you've opened in the router, that terminal is set. So, we have to set which is the inside network and which is the outside network. So, which link is connected to the inside network? Identify which is that link. Either it could be gigabit internet, or it could be Ethernet internet, or it could be fast Ethernet. So fast Ethernet, it will be FA 0/0. If it is gigabit, it will be GIG 0/0. Or if it is a serial connection, you will have SC as the code. So when you bring your cursor onto the link, that link will show you what is the link name. So INT indicates interface. Interface means link. For that interface, you make it as inside connection. That is the inside network. And for this link, for this interface, you make it as outside. Okay, there should be a small correction. This link name should be different. So once the inside network and the outside network has been set, now you have to make the static connection where one of the IP address is mapped to the public address. So the command is like this: IP address NAT table entry in the inside network, which is the source, the static connection. This IP address is mapped to this public address. So after setting this command, type exit. So we'll do these connections in the Cisco packet tracer. Now click on the router, go to the command line. Okay, this is the command line. So it's already in the up state. So the router is running. So if you want to go for connection, type exit so that we can enable it once again. Okay, it's already in the privilege mode. So no need to give enable. You can directly give the command. Now if you type again exit, it goes back to the router connection. Okay, so now from here we'll start once again how to enable it, just to show how to make the configuration setting right from the beginning. So now we are in the router prompt. So click type en, then give config terminal. We want to go for the configuration mode, that is privilege mode, to change the configuration setting. Okay, now it's in the privilege mode. So now we have to give the command. Now to know which link it is, if you have a doubt, just bring your cursor here. Just bring a cursor here, it will show you. So once you click on this router, it will be running like this. So it's so you can just press the enter key, you will get the command prompt. So if this is the router, now first you have to go to the enable mode and then do the settings. So go for enable, EN will enable it. Now configure terminal, the shortcut is CONF space T. Okay, so I've clicked on the router, right click, then I've come to the command line prompt. From here, this router, I'm doing this command line execution. Now when this command line comes like this, router config. So now we are in the privileged mode where we can do the configuration settings. Now here we'll change the inside network and outside network. So this PC belongs to the inside. So this link is called as inside link. And now this 100.2 is connecting to the outside world. So this becomes your outside link. So you have to remember which link is inside and which is outside. Okay, this link is gigabit 0/0. So that is inside network. This one is gigalink 0/1. So that is outside link. Now once the inside and outside network is set, now we'll map this private address to the public address. So public address is 100.100.100.2. The private is this one. So the command I'll type, which is going to map the private to public address. After that, you can type exit. So all the configuration settings is done, then type exit. So this has been set. Now, how do we know whether it is exactly completed or not? So you can click on this inspection tool, then go to the router, and then click on the NAT table. So this will show you what is the settings. Inside local means private. So that is 10.1, which is mapped to the private public address, that is 100.2. Okay, local is private, global is public. So now we can ping one message from PC to server. So initially it's failed. So now it is successful. Okay, now how do we know it is mapped properly or not? So you can click on the simulation, then you can play it. So you can click on this router and see how it is mapped. See, initial private address is 10.10.1, okay, which is converted to 100.100.2, and the destination is server address, that is 100.1. So here you can see how the private address is mapped to the public address. You can have one more command. So you can go to PC term command prompt. There you can give a ping. There's another command debug. So this will show you how the IP address gets changed.